Hello, Ashton here for another episode of The Comic Book Hunter. Well, I've been taking a little bit of a break because they have been having not very many comic books out that I've been buying. Like last week I bought like one comic, and the week before I bought one, and I didn't even want to really review any of those. So here I am. Okay, so for anyone who's new... Oh my goodness, I think I messed something up already. Oh no, I didn't, okay. For anyone who is new to this, oh, my camera's all weird. Okay, there we go. Wow! Jeez, my hair's all crazy. Welcome to the most professional show on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. For anyone who is new to this, what I do on The Comic Book Hunter is I show you what I bought for the week, which is not much this week, and I then go about telling you a little something in the middle, some kind of miscellaneous thing, and then in the third act, what I do is I give you recommendations for next week, and I do have a few recommendations for next week. Thank goodness, it looks like things are starting to pick up with comic books again, but Marvel has really dropped down with the things I'm interested in, and DC too. So I just haven't been getting very many titles recently. Anyway, let's go ahead and... Oh, wow! Hey, Doug, how you doing, man? I'm happy to see you here. I got 3 people watching this? Damn! Oh, it's good to see you guys. So let's get started real quick with my review for the week. This comic here. Ooh, X-Men number 4. Yes. If you haven't been buying the X-Men series, really any place is a good place to start, because these are all really self-contained stories that the other comics seem to feed off of. And so what I'm seeing is that they're coming up with another slew of X-Men titles, if you could believe it. So I'm already overwhelmed with that. I mean, I'm not collecting that many. I think I'm interested in the new Wolverine series, but like, if you really don't want to get too involved with anything, you could just read the X-Men book, and I think you'd be good to go, because that's the hub for every series that's coming out. Anyway, that's the one comic I have to review for this week. So normally I do 1 image per comic, but today I'm going to show you a few images, so that way I can break down the comic a little better for you, give you a reason why you might be interested in it. As you can see here, there's the X jet, or whatever it is, hover plane, coming in for a landing, and the X-Men are going to be attending a very fancy dinner party. Here you go. I think, like, I love the art in this new X-Men comic book. The characters look beefy, they look like themselves, not all like effeminate and stuff like that. So I've really been appreciating how the X-Men look like themselves. I know they have like a new sort of personality because of the events of Hox and Pox. Xavier has kind of changed his outlook on things, but this issue actually addresses some of that, and I'm not going to really get into spoilers. Yes, it does look great. I was just talking to Doug in the comments. And here you go, fancy dinner party. Isn't that so classy? But of course, these are powerful people in the world, and they're meeting to talk with the leaders of the new sovereign X-Men nation because they have concerns about things. And some of these people are quite underhanded and would do ruthless acts in order to get their way. And they may view the X-Men as sort of a threat. And that leads to, of course, betrayal and violence. And I'm not going to say too much or who the guilty party is or anything like that. I will not spoil this issue for you. But it is, it's fun. I wish there was a bit more action. The action is really brief and it's broken into little boxes. But I did quite enjoy this issue and seeing how the X-Men work together in subterfuge and how they're handling things now, not just through violence but defensively and stuff. It's really quite cool to see them working together as a unit now in this new circumstance. So if you think that's cool, go ahead and check out X-Men number 4. Okay, well that's my big review for this weekend. It's quite sad. It's quite sad I only have that one comic, but I'll have more next week. So this is the center portion, and I'm going to take this moment to talk about something that is not comics. I just happened to pick this up this week, so I wanted to show you guys. I love this movie. I don't know if you know about Dario Argento's Suspiria, but this, if you're ever going to watch a Dario Argento movie, he is a Italian horror filmmaker, but he has a really artistic eye, and his movies are so bold, you know, the colors and the direction that they go in. And so I picked up this special limited edition. I think this was like 6,000 prints or something like that. But yeah, oh man, I'm so happy with this. You got the Steelbox edition here. And there you go. Like this really shows you a good example. The movie has crazy architecture in it. It uses a lot of extreme colors. And if you don't know about it, I'm not going to spoil too much. I will tell you a little bit about the film, though. This is the thing that came on the back. And you can check it out. It's got 3 discs in there. One of these is the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is done by a group called the Goblins. And or just Goblin, I guess I should say. And it is great. Very, very harsh and surreal. Very atmospheric. This movie, though, if you've never heard anything about it, it's about a school. It's a dance school, and the architecture of this school is very special, unlike anything most people have seen. Very easy to get lost in, very easy to disappear, and anyone with nefarious means might be able to use this property to their own advantage. So, you know, what happens? Oh, well, students start going missing. It's the strangest thing, you know? And it turns out there may be some kind of a dark element behind the school, behind the scenes, you know, stalking certain victims for certain reasons to sway people in the direction that they should be going in. Anyway, if that sounds cool to you, then go check it out. It's very violent, very bloody, and, you know, beautifully shot. Like the colors, they spent 3 years remastering this movie for the Blu-ray and 4K restoration. Oh boy. So yeah, definitely check that out. Great to have an audience here. So thank you for everyone who's watching. And let's go on to next week in comics. So what do we have coming up? All right, we have X-Force. Yes, we have a new X-Force comic coming out next week. And if you haven't been buying an X series, like you have the X-Men, the main hub series, that's pretty good. But honestly, out of all the series, X-Force is number 1. This has been a great series so far. Very violent. They do a lot of shocking things in this. It seems like the end of every comic ends on a violent sort of cliffhanger or, you know, something happening. And this was no exception. It was kind of surprising. And, you know, it's brutal and good, and it works very well with the landscape that the comics find themselves in currently. So, you know, no holds barred. And this is the writer of this, I think it's Percy, is going to be writing the new Wolverine series, so I'm very excited for that. Even though I wasn't very impressed by the pages I saw, you think they would have put out some of the awesome pages to lure people in, but I am looking forward to the new Wolverine series as well. Next up, we have Ruins of Ravencroft Carnage. Now, they are building up to a Ravencroft limited series. I think it's 4 or 5 issues, and there are 3 issues coming out. We have Carnage, and we have Dracula, and we have Sabretooth. All those issues sound really awesome, and if you're into like dark stuff, the dark matter of the Marvel Universe, and you want to see, I guess sort of the Arkham Asylum of Marvel and what happens therein, I would check this series out if I were you. It looks awesome. I can't promise anything, of course, but it has my interest peaked, and so I'm going to pick up all the 3 lead-up issues. They're all number 1s, of course, which makes no sense, even though they're one-shots. But, yeah, this is the first of them to come out. Oh, it looks like my internet skipped for a second. Sorry about that if you missed anything. Okay, so the next one we have is Ghost Rider. A new issue of Ghost Rider coming out, and I'm very excited to see what they do with this. Starting with the last issue, they have a new artist on, and I did like him, but his like the motion wasn't quite as good as the artist before him. But aside from that, though, the art's really good. The story's been awesome so far, and I am really excited to see what's going to happen with this sort of hell war for who is going to be King of Hell. Will Ghost Rider hold on to the mantle of that? Will it drive him crazy and kill him? Will Danny Ketch regain his Ghost Rider status, or will he, just dip off because he finally has that curse removed from him? Well, we will see. That's the only series I am following. Yeah, well, it's a worthwhile series to check out, definitely. So that's Doug. He's saying he still collects this series, and I don't blame him. It's been pretty cool so far, and I've been very satisfied with the writing and the art and pretty much every aspect of it. It's not the best comic ever, but in comparison to modern Marvel, this is a gem for sure. All right, next up is The Plot, and I don't think I talked about this one recently. I have kind of been collecting it low-key without really mentioning it, but we do have The Plot number 4 coming out, and this has been a pretty good horror series so far. If you're interested in it, you could probably find it out there. It's not a hard series to get. It's been about a family that's fallen apart and a manor that has a mysterious family secrets that are coming back to haunt people, and quite aggressively, sort of like manifesting and trying to really inform them about things that they may not have been aware of in the past. But it does play like an older horror comic book. It does get slow paced every now and again, and that's why I haven't been mentioning it super amount. But here's issue 4 and I'm still collecting it, so what can I say? If you kind of like a classic feeling horror story, then The Plot may be for you. It does have some brutality in it too, so and some gorgeous visuals, especially when the haunting is taking place. Oh, 4 people watching, huh? I think that we are tied for my record of people that stopped in. All right, well, hey, it's nice to have a 4th person in. I do appreciate all of you who have been watching. If anyone wants to say anything, say it now, because we have come to the end of my live stream. I know it is brief. It's brief, only 15 minutes. Normally I go 20 to 30 minutes, but comics haven't been giving me much material to work with. I guess I'll just mention something real quick. I don't know if anyone's been watching it. The new Dracula series on Netflix. Me and my wife have been watching it. Got through the first 2, I guess they're films. They're like an hour and a half each. And it has been a great series so far. So if you got Netflix and you want to see Dracula done pretty well, it's kind of like classic Dracula, like black and white, sort of mixed with modern sentiments. And they really throw a lot of curveballs in there to keep the story fresh. And they revisit a lot of the concepts from the original Dracula that made it work so well. And you know, some people, oh, just happened to pop up on my screen. Sorry, I missed the bulk of this show. I'll subscribe. What is the content level? PG-13 or R? I curse every now and again, but I am, I guess, PG-13. Although if you look at my analytics, nobody below 18 watches my show. Matter of fact, a lot of people that are in their 30s and 40s watch my show. Hope that answers the question. And it is really nice to have you here. Oh, Dracula. Ooh, that's R. Yeah, definitely R. There's some pretty brutal stuff in there. And then they do nerf some of the violence, and that's a little disappointing. There is some brutal stuff that definitely makes it R, but maybe it's because of budgetary reasons or something, but they do kind of like not show you some things, like especially when it comes to full-on massacres. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting show so far. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you might have to check it out. Okay, Doug says I might have to check it out. And uh, Fly Fox Pro says, "Cool man, thanks for the info." Sorry, I'm not used to having people in my chat. Honestly, been doing this for a long time. Have over 600 subscribers, and hardly anyone's ever in here. So I do appreciate the interaction, and I'm sorry I'm a little rusty answering. I'm gonna have to definitely get used to that. Yeah, it's a great show though. You could just watch it. I would just watch it like one a day or something like that, because being an hour and a half, it's a bit daunting. But if you spread it out, it definitely goes down easier. And tonight we're actually going to be watching the final episode, which I'm very sad about. Hopefully they will bring it back for season 2. I don't know if they will or not, or if they're just going to end it flat out. I'm actually really excited to see it. But there you go. That's sort of my review on that. And anyway, I just saw. Oh, Andrew. Oh, how you doing, Andrew? Just saw the New Mutants trailer. I'm digging the horror. Wow, the trailer's finally out. Hey, that's new news to me. I gotta go check that out. I've been interested in it because of the horror element, but I just figured it was never going to come out. That surprises me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go have to check that out as soon as I get done with this. Well, thank you everyone for coming in here, for being subscribed, and coming to check out my live stream. It's been a huge honor to have you all here. You're all great people, and it just means the world to me. I'm going to be announcing a new comic book giveaway pretty soon over on Twitter. If you follow me, it is at Ash and Jackal, capital A, capital J, over there on Twitter. And yeah, that's it. Well, you all have a great day. Great evening, I guess, if you're in my time zone. Yes.